listeners of the Supporting Struggling Readers in French Immersion podcast. I am Krystina Raymond, a PhD student at the Ontario Institute for Studies in Education at the University of Toronto.
I'm really excited to share with you today our very first episode. We're going to talk to you about a highly successful school-based early reading intervention at École Howden, a French Immersion school in Manitoba.
École Howden's French Immersion program begins in senior kindergarten. In their first years in the program, non-Francophone children are immersed entirely in French. The school's intervention is implemented in English in kindergarten to help children at risk of reading difficulties. Its goal is to prevent later reading failure.
To learn more about why this intervention was so successful, we're going to hear from Dr. Fred Genesee, a world-renowned researcher in immersion education, as well as Nicole Neveux and Michelle Follows, two teachers responsible for implementing early reading interventions in French immersion schools in Manitoba.
Learning to read is essential for success in school. Students learn to read in order to learn academic material. And reading ability is especially important in the higher grades when more and more of the curriculum materials that they're working with are in written form. While most students have no difficulty learning to read, it's estimated that 7 to 9% of the school-age population has a reading disability, which makes reading acquisition difficulty, and furthermore, that upwards of 20% and even more in some cases of students have difficulty learning to read for other reasons. Fortunately, we have a great deal of research on reading acquisition in both first language and second language readers, and this provides us a wealth of information that can guide us in identifying struggling readers and how to support these readers. So there's 4 key lessons that we've learned from this research. In order to read successfully, there are some foundational skills that students must master in the early stages of development. These are phonological awareness and the alphabetic principle. Phonological awareness is the knowledge that oral language, oral words, can be divided into separate sounds. And this is how we assess phonological awareness. You might say and the child might say cat. So this is an essential skill for learning to read. Also, knowledge that written letters have sounds that go with them is important for learning to read. One way of testing this is asking children to identify the sounds that are associated with the letters of the alphabet. But another simple way of doing it is ask them if they know the alphabet sound. Early identification of struggling readers is essential so that you can provide early support. We know that early identification can be done in a child's first language or in their second language, and preferably it will be done in their stronger language so that any results you get from your assessment are telling you about reading ability and not their competence in the language. Once you've identified the students, then you can begin to provide support for them. And we know, again, from research, that intervention that's provided in small group or individualized format is highly effective and helps most students overcome the reading difficulties.
After learning from the expert, we're now going to hear from 2 teachers with their insights.
So we say the earlier the better. At École Howden, to identify this at-risk group, our team decided to assess students in kindergarten using phonological awareness skills and then intervene with small group sessions. So these daily 15-minute sessions we had for about a period of 3 to 4 weeks for each section of phonological awareness. So here we explicitly teach our kids and we practice these phonological awareness skills. Some of the benefits that we noticed with our students, actually most of our students that received this early intervention, they've gone on to improve considerably in all literacy skills. The most remarkable has been seeing their confidence soar. They now see themselves as readers, so they're more able to take risks, and we've noticed they take risks in all academic areas. So we know that instruction in phonological awareness during kindergarten can have a positive effect on reading growth after formal reading instruction begins in the later grades.
Yeah, and definitely too, when we talk about teacher buy-in, also teacher buy-in on the whole concept of what we were looking at. So starting as a teacher to understand that we're not just teaching alphabet as in the song of the alphabet or the letters in order, but we're really teaching the phonological awareness skills that are needed for pre-reading. So teaching syllables, teaching rhyming. And, if the kids were able to be successful in all those areas, then, looking at as well at final sound, medial sound, segmenting, blending. And definitely the earlier that we can begin the intervention, the more benefit that we have.
Thank you for sharing this really important information. And thank you to our listeners. And we hope you stay tuned for episode 2 in the Supporting French Immersion Struggling Readers podcast.